So the project of connecting the two big lakes together is done, thanks to the power of the conduit, which I acquired at the end of the last episode. I think that this looks a lot better. Now, it does still look a little bit artificial. I might go and clean up this little ridge a little bit and maybe make it curve a little bit in towards that large boulder that I said I was going to leave in there. And I'm probably going to put a little bit of a gradient on that as well, make it look a lot more bouldery. And at some point I'd like to connect those two lakes together via a little river that will go out that way. But I've been living out of my starter base this whole time and just plonking items here into the archive for a while. I think it's about time that I establish a proper base. And in order to do that, I'm gonna want to clear out all of these trees down here. But first things first, I have been running out of storage, and I am so unbelievably tired of not having shulker boxes. So, let's go beat the game. You know, I honestly really do enjoy the early game of Minecraft. It's kind of why I've been dragging my feet on actually beating the game for a while. Don't get me wrong, having elytra and firework rockets and all the farms in the world is very much a way of playing the game that makes doing large-scale projects like this significantly easier. But there's just something nice and simple about taking it slow and working without beacons and with horses and not being able to fly and stuff. There's just some simple joy in just playing the game just kind of simply and not to the advanced level of endgame meta. I like to enjoy my journey, you know? So even after I've gone to the end and I've gotten all of my shulker boxes and elytra and stuff like that, honestly, like, I'm still probably gonna use my horse and walk things on foot a decent amount in this game, because I honestly I find that level of detail a lot nicer when things are a lot sort of smaller and condensed rather than like focusing on how things look from above rather than or from a distance rather than being a part of it and being in it. Just my own personal philosophy though. Of course, the first step in order to go to the end is going to be to go to the Nether. Now, I haven't got the most ideal Nether in the world, but I do spawn next to a warped forest, which is going to be good for Endermen. However, I'm in a bit of an awkward situation, and I need to find a way to get to a fortress. I haven't actually found one yet. That is a bastion, not a fortress. Better question, how do I get over there? It looks like there's not necessarily a land bridge, but some kind of tree bridge that I could use to possibly build my way over there. Let me give that a go. Doesn't look so bad. Do have to remain vigilant, however. That's probably only like 20 blocks. Advancement. See a brute down there. I'd like to get rid of you as soon as possible. I think that took it out. Alright, you've got a dude behind you. Are you cool? You're good. Okay. Now, I don't actually really want to be in here right now. This is like the bottom of it. That's a lot of gold. Well, I mean, like, you know. Not really a good way I can go down here. Seems like there's a way that goes through there. I can do something like this. Sloppiest staircase I've ever made in my life. Aha, I hear them. Ooh. Well, I mean, what a start. Digging directly into the blaze spawner. I would like to honestly, like, go into the fortress, though. Here's the thing. I need to get in here. Okay. There's a couple. There we go. Not bad. That's 18 rods. Let's have a look around this place. I hear more blazes. Don't know if that means there's an actual spawner nearby or if they just spawned. Aha! Here's another spawner. I don't think those two blaze spawners are close enough to really matter. Stairs, that could be good. Please, nope, not the right, no, here we go. Okay, here we go. This is what I need. Wart. I should probably take the sand too. There's a loot chest. Do you have what I want? Hello? Oh, you are mad at me for opening a chest. I apologize. Not really anything super worthwhile. Ugh. Well, I don't think I'm gonna get anything interesting out of this. So I'm just gonna make my way home. Alright, so I am back around my home portal area. You may recognize this. I'm just gonna hang out in the warp forest and kill a couple of endermen, probably. Just to polish off my ender pearl supply. I think I also need one of these for the collection. Perhaps one of these. No, I think it's this one. That looks like a shears only sort of affair. Oop. Excellent. Pack of 16 ender pearls is probably enough in combination with my ones at home. I got a lot of gold. I could get pearls from bartering, but meh. Since I live right in a warped forest, it's not really that big a deal. And back home. Okay, let me put all my garbage away. I think I will make one full 16 batch of Eyes of Ender, since it'll take at maximum 12 eyes to fill the portal, and I'll probably break a few getting there. Other than that, though, I think this looks pretty good in terms of gear that I'm willing to bring to the end, not including the shears. I don't think I'm gonna take rice with me, just because I'm gonna set my spawn at the stronghold. That's the plan anyway. Anything else I think I'll need before I go to the end? Blocks. I need blocks. I'll take one stack of cobblestone and several stacks of stone. That seems good. I'm a little worried about taking one of my 5 precious infinity and mending bows, but I do have 4 more, and if I fall into the void, there's just nothing you can do about that. This is not my first go with the Ender Dragon. I know what I'm doing. Everything's gonna be fine, but maybe I'll bring a pumpkin just in case. Alright, now without further ado, which way are we going? That way, we're going north. My only real biggest fear with fighting the Ender Dragon is not dying from the Enderman, or even dying from the Ender Dragon. It's getting catapulted by the Ender Dragon and being knocked off the island. So I am officially in New Chunks. This is a pretty flat open area. We're still going north. Oh, please don't be in the middle of the water. That would suck. Guess I did bring a lot of blocks with me, so should be fine. Here's our old friend the big beach. So if it goes farther north, it's probably in the middle of the ocean, which is sad. Yeah. Alright, how about now? Still going. Hello, temple. We were there last episode. How about now? Still going. Then it broke. So here's where that second landmass was. I'll hit land and then I'll throw another. And if it goes backwards, fuck. Okay, I have made landfall. Let's see. That way. And it broke again! Jeez. I really had to come all the way out here again, huh? There's the savannah again. We are going east. Whoa, that's a big pit. Alright, how are we doing now? Ah, went a little backwards. So it's right around here. So it's probably like right I guess maybe it is in this cave. Woo! Hello there. I get jump scared and I sound like Miss Frizzle. It's probably a little farther down. Maybe like here-ish. Ah! Stone bricks. Perfect. Here we are. Well, I already hear lava. That's... oh, 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 oh! It's a little messed up, I think. Looks a little bit more stable this way. I hear silverfish. That means the portal room is right here. Oh, and look, we've got exactly one. I'm gonna throw up some torches around here and set up a little base camp. Get a chest down. Okay, I think it looks pretty good to launch myself in like this. Here we go. Too late for crying now. Oh boy. I just gotta... Okay, oh, this is not that bad. This is not a bad spot for a platform to go. Oh, right, there's flashes now. Whew. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do is immediately put down some water. Weird looking end island, if I must say. Oh, I probably should have thought about bringing some bottles for the dragon's breath, but I do intend to rematch the Ender Dragon a handful of times, so now I can probably start taking some of these out. There we go. Nice. There we go. You perching? Yeah. Cool. Stay like that for a little while longer. I've still got crystals to smash. Nice. Did I get that one? Oh, I did just now. Nice. Nice. Hey, 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 watch out now. Oh, there we go. Now I think the last one I need is just this one. Let me just see if I can slide an arrow up through there. I think I'm gonna need to pillar that. I think that's gonna be what has to happen. Okay, you are perching. Let me see if I can do something like this. Oh, my hubris. I'm bailing. This looks like a better angle. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's all the crystals done. Now it's go time. My aim is so bad. Oh, you're perching. That's excellent. Not really the best shot with the bow in the world, but that's not what I'm here for. You look like you want to perch. You want to perch so bad. I know you want to. Oh, there's Dragon's Breath. He's not looking at where I was going. Well, you've kind of blocked me off a bit here. That's not going to be enough to get it, is it? Well... I'm doubting, I'm doubting. Oh! Woohoo! And... Dunzo. God, that's so flippin' loud. I don't know what I'm gonna do with all these levels of experience. Maybe repair my pickaxe that's nearly dead. That'd be a good idea. Huh, 64 levels. Would you look at that? Is that gonna make it 65? Nope, we're good. Okay, well, that is the end conquered. Let's, grab the egg. Oh, it's over here. And since I set my spawn right next to the portal, I'm just gonna jump in. Tuck that safely away in there. And we go back in. I think I remember seeing the gateway was over here. Ooh, perfect. Anyway. Oh, whoa. This is a absolute fucked up spot to put me straight off the bat. What the heck? This is diabolical. Oh, which way do I choose? I guess I'll go that way since it's a little closer then. Nothing for it but to just bridge. Oh boy. I may use a pearl if I get close enough, but that island is a little in the way. Oh, this is stressful. Put down some water like here, just in case I fall. I could catch myself on the water. I've got plenty of blocks. I can make it. But I don't want to look at any of these guys' faces. And I shouldn't have to, as long as I keep aiming down at the block. Hello, excuse me. Just passing through, don't mind me. Okay. Ugh. What a truly diabolical spawn that was. The island is in sight, and I'm clear. Let me grab the coordinates of this place, and there we go. Let's grab some chorus. I need that for the collection, well as some flour. Now I need to find a city, which hopefully won't be that bad. Oh, there's another Why couldn't you have put me out there? Excuse me? You could have just put me out right there, but you put me out in the most diabolical position possible. You know what? This is, I think, an appropriate time to pumpkin. That way I just don't need to worry about anything. As long as I remember to take my pumpkin off whenever I reach some form of city or a gap that I'll have to pearl. I'm seeing nothing but gaps again. Okay. Back to the horror. I've played Skyblock before, several times over. I've done this many times. This is fine. And we're here. Put the pumpkin back on. Like, can I just find a city already? Okay, that's pearlable, at least. Okay. Well, here's another gap. However, I think that this is also pearlable. Don't make me regret this. Nice. How off was I? Oh, yeah, easy. Is that another gap? No. This one is gonna need bridging. I'm running out of blocks here. But I might be able to go halfway and then pearl. Might be what I'm gonna have to do. That looks pretty good. I can just... Nice. Please, can I just find an end city already? This sucks. That's another gap, that's another gap. Oy, I might just break out the seed map at this point. Just kind of wandering around at this point is not really super efficient. I'm gonna look at the seed map now. What are my coordinates? Okay, I think I see a way. Oh, that's miles away though. I am such an idiot. I just noticed that I was entirely recording in the wrong resolution. I am so sorry to the editing version of me that is going to have to deal with this. Anyway, so here is the seed map for my world. I am approximately on this red dot here, and wouldn't you believe it that all of the end cities that have elytras are in like a huge like circle around where I am. I think that I probably, if I had looked at the seed map sooner, I probably spawned like here or something, like somewhere in here, and then I went like down. But I think in order to get to the elytra the closest way possible, I'm gonna need to go west, then northwest-ish, like north-northwest, then cross this big gap, and then I can kind of make my way over to there. That's gonna be a little bit annoying. I'm probably gonna need to dig up a lot of endstone for that, but now I can actually record at the proper resolution. Yay! So I'm going west. I think I need to go there. That gap looks pretty ender pearlable, but I'm gonna do a couple of blocks, I think. Okay. Ooh, I was really scared that I wasn't gonna make it there. I am so, like, not upset about using the seed map. Just because I think that... I mean, you saw the way that the seed looked. If I was going for much longer, I wouldn't have found an Elytra city for a long time. Just because they were so evenly spaced out from where I am. It's ridiculous. So if I go west for a ways, it mostly just straight west, but I do want to go a little bit south, not by much, just bear a little bit towards the south. There is a gateway, that's pretty huge. Okay, that's interesting. Cool, nice. Aha! There it is! It looms ever closer on the horizon. And if the seed map didn't lie to me, this should, indeed it does, have a boat. Oh, that's in a weird spot now that I'm getting a good look at it. Well, leaving won't pose an issue, but getting there... I think I'm gonna need more blocks. I think that I could probably safely pearl this. Yeah, that looks good. Wah! Yep, alright. Alright, that's one. Nice. Oh, and I fell a little. Okay, let's get up in here. I've got kind of a spray and pray method to clearing this room in my general strategy. It works sometimes. Silk touch shovel. Sharpness sword. Sure, I'll take it. A couple of diamants, some emeralds, iron, coffee, Cheetos, chicken. Now I'd like to get to the bottom and pick up all those shells. There's one. Not a whole ton of shulker shells out of that. But the elytra will make it way easier to get more regardless. Okay, I'm going to prioritize getting the elytra, I think. This is not the 3-layer room, so it's not the one with the chest and the ender chest. Gonna need to use blocks for this, I think. Okay, well, I mean, if you want to do my work for me, then probably safely pearl onto the boat, like so. Nearly out of pearls, but that's okay because I'm about to get an elytra. I will also take the healing potions for the collection. There we go. And sky's the limit. Okay. Now we live in comfort for the rest of our days. So while I'm here, of course, I'll need to grab the dragon head for the collection. A couple of purple blocks won't be amiss. End rods, of course, as I had mentioned before, I will need them for the design of the library, as well as for the collection. I suppose I can craft end rods now that I have chorus as well as blaze rods. But now it's time to go and get the rest of the shulkers. Oh, hello there. I wonder if you duplicated. And while it's not necessarily a unique item, I think I'd like to take one of these End City banners for the collection. Okay, well, I don't think that this End City had an ender chest in it. I think I'm gonna try my luck at a different city, though. Or perhaps just go home. It would be nice to have an ender chest, but even nicer to just cut my losses. Once I put mending and unbreaking on my elytra, I can come back and do a little bit more of this. I think I'm just gonna peace out. I was totally not recording for any of that, but I just went back to that gateway that I had found previously on my way there, and I flew through it, And I'm about to fly out of here. Yippee! Alright. I did not come home with an ender chest, and that was the end. Okay, so now that I have an elytra, I can simply fly home. Going across this big of an ocean may take a couple of minutes in a boat, but a couple of seconds to an elytra. And from this nice of a view up in the air, you can see exactly where it is that we call home. As jarring as the terrain may be, it's ours. And here we are. Now that was a success. I didn't die a single time, so I kept my bow. Now I can finally make shulker boxes out of my shulker shells, which is going to be huge for organizing my greater storage at large, because I've just been squirreling things away in corners for a little while. But I can also sort and organize these items that I just got as well. The handful of varieties of stone brick that we got from the stronghold will go here in construction stonework. And stone brick also goes here, just in a different section, as well as the purpur. The purpur pillar actually goes over here in decorative stone carving. The End City banner can go in with the rest of the banners. I made this cauldron to bring with me into the Nether, just in case I got set on fire and needed to put myself out super urgently. Because if you didn't know, since you can't put water in the Nether, you can actually put water in a cauldron and then step in the cauldron, like jump inside of it, and it will actually put your fire out. But I didn't end up needing it, so I can just chuck it over here into appliances. The end rod, I think, also goes in here, as it is a light source. I totally, completely, and utterly forgot about end stone whenever I had said that the stone chest was complete. It actually goes here next to deep slate. So now it is actually complete. I can tuck these nether sprouts over here next to the warped roots in the landscape architecture, and a single shulker shell will go into packaging. The item frame goes here with the furniture. Now I have many, many things for the folklore chest from this expedition, including the dragon egg, the dragon head, Horus flower, Horus fruit, and my last remaining Eye of Ender. And I do think that is everything from the expedition that needs to be sorted. Though, really fast, now that I have end rods, I can use them to create the lamp design that I had in the creative version of the world. That also means picking up all of these lanterns, which I can then scrape wax and then put into the archive themselves. Now that looks like a standing lamp with a lampshade, using this quartz pillar texture as kind of like the crimps or the pleats on a lampshade. Pretty classic design, it's been around for a while. With these extra quartz pillars, I can put one into the collection. And in terms of these lanterns, all I need to do is just... And that will actually properly complete every single copper item in the game. Finally. Now this is the real prize of this expedition. Getting to make all of these shulker boxes that I don't have enough room in my inventory for, which is why I need them so bad. As you can see, all of my chests have been practically overflowing at this point, and I've just been squirreling my items away back here when I don't have anywhere else good to put them. So I am going to start actually organizing these things and just kind of plunk them in a more organized fashion into where these chests are already sorted. You know I'm gonna need at least one full shulker box on its own for all these saddles I keep fishing up, which is only almost enough storage for my actual true saddle collection. There's a shulker full of stone, there's another shulker of stone, and there's half a shulker of stone. That's a shulker full of dirt, and nearly a second shulker of dirt. Here's a shulker full of fish, and here's half a shulker of all my logs, which is going to get considerably more full in the future. Here's a shulker full of other stone blocks. Now that hasn't exactly solved the issue. I've still got a lot of junk that I need to sort through, But that was a lot of the most pressing things that I just needed a lot of condensed bulk storage for, all taken care of. Before I forget, there's a mending book and an unbreaking book. That's that taken care of. Am I going to build a proper storage system? Yes. That is coming soon, don't you worry, along with a lot of other things that is going to be involved in what I mentioned at the beginning, clearing out all of this forest. We'll get there when we get there. I've got a lot of ideas of things that I want to do for this world, so I hope you're looking forward to it as much as I am, even beyond just the collecting everything aspect. Now, I only accomplished one thing this episode, and I don't have any particular goals for the rest of it, so I'm going to take care of a couple of minor cleanup housekeeping sort of goals. First thing I want to do is actually get all these shelves labeled. I don't have quite enough glow ink sacks on hand, but I do know where to get some. I don't remember if I actually mentioned this on camera or not. If I did, I'm so sorry, but occasionally, every once in a while, I will come out back here into the mountainous backyard. There's a nice and deep cave here that goes through this windswept hills biome that I've come down here and have been digging in the deep slate looking for deep slate emeralds. Because if you don't know, that is a block that only spawns at basically exactly Y level 0, and it's basically a 1 in 100,000 chance for it to spawn, because emeralds spawn more frequently the higher up in the world you go, which is great, except that means they're mostly going to be stone. So finding it actually as low down in the deep slate ore is incredibly rare, and I will need it to complete the collection. But there is a nice aquifer down here that does often spawn glow squids that I can get some of my ink from. I guess it's thunderstorming right as I find these diamonds. Ooh, foreboding diamonds. I don't really strictly need a lot of diamonds. It's tempting to pick them up whenever you see them, but like, what am I going to use them for? Really, the only thing I'll need for this series is like replacing my gear if I ever lose it and duplicating armor trims. That is a little over a stack of glow ink. That's probably enough. Alright, let's label these chests. Computers. Rare books. Social customs. Folklore. Folklore again. Folklore again. Mineralogy, geology, and meteorology. Rocks, economic geology. Microorganisms, fungi, and algae. Seeds. Trees. Animals. Specific animal topics and arthropods. Engineering and tools. Nautical and military engineering. Nautical and military engineering again. This is another one of those weird overlap sections. Railroad, field crops, and agricultural forestry. Gardening. Husbandry. Food and drink. Household utilities. Here's another one of the funny overlaps. Furniture, explosives, and fuel. Metalworking. Metalworking again. Iron, copper, non-ferrous metals, and paper. Cheap wool. Woodworking. Woodworking again. Woodworking for the third time. Printing and packaging. Construction stonework. Construction stonework again. Concrete. Landscape architecture. Decorative stone carving. Decorative stone carving again. Ceramics. Handicrafts. Handicrafts again. Textile arts. Glass. Music. Sports and outdoors. Fishing, hunting, and shooting. And finally, ancient history. That is every chest labeled. I would also like to label every bookshelf. This one will be 0 to 499. This one is 500 to 599. We'll call this one 600 to 669 and 670 to 689. And then this one we'll call 690 to 739 and 740 to 999. And I've got one warped sign left over. You know exactly where that's going. Don't want to be wasteful, of course. I'll stick a plank in here too while I'm at it. Now here's where it gets real. I've got to go into every chest where there is multiple categories and name all of the sub-shelves on books. For example, these 3 rows here are mineralogy, and this row here is geology, hydrology, and meteorology. Label all of our rock types as well: igneous, volcanic, granite, metamorphic, and sedimentary. Here's all of our economic geology, separating out our specific animal topics from arthropods. This is going to be skulk, by the way. Separating our engineering from our tools, railroad engineering, field crops, and agricultural forestry. Separating our one big section of furniture from our tiny section of explosives and fuel. Separating our iron, copper, non-ferrous metals, and paper in this chest. And then our printing and packaging in this chest. Lastly, we separate our outdoor sports from our aquatic and air sports. And that is all of the labeling done for the archive. And not to be wasteful, I will take my damaged anvil and put it next to my anvil in the metalworking chest, because that's another unique item. Now with that out of the way, I think now is as good of a time as any to give a quick update and refresher on the state of how the archive is doing. And while I am doing so, I'm going to say that this is probably going to be the end of this episode. Thank you all for watching, and in the next episode, I am probably going to do something very important that I've been meaning to do for quite a while, which is there is a lot of missing items in the archive that I can absolutely get with just a few minutes of crafting. So I think what the next objective for the next episode is going to be we're going to have a big crafting montage where all of the items that I could have but don't have yet are going to be taken care of. And that is going to be a really important step for the progression of our Forever world. And that's going to help this world come ever closer to completion in terms of the original goal of collecting each and every item. So I am going to finish up this tour with the last couple of chests, as you can see here. Yeah, especially the glass. I can craft so much glass since I've already crafted all of the dyes for getting all of the wool items. And that's everything. That's the current state of the archive as it stands right now for the end of this episode. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.